Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Clouser, or John D. Clouser, whichever one you prefer. What is it? Episode 171 of this great show. What's up? How are you? Hope you're doing good. So I guess I should probably, what's the word? Or acknowledge the would be the term that the donkey or the elephant of the room. Why are you wearing a suit, John? Hey guys, cue the music. All right, isn't this so dramatic? Listen to this. Oh yeah. So I'm here today, guys, on this podcast to. What are they doing? What are they doing right now? What are those people doing? Oh, I am throwing my hat into the candidacy of the presidency of the United States of America. I'm here. Get used to it. I'm going to fight for the everyman. Or woman, or them, or they. I don't know what your pronoun is. I should have said that or asked that to start off with. Sorry. But I run on 3 key points. 1, how's your relationship with your pet, your dog, your cat? How's your golf score? What's your gambling record? Those are the 3 things I will worry about as your president of United States. No, I just went to a funeral. And so, so that it's, I guess it was like more of like a wake, I don't know what the hell you want to fucking call it. It wasn't what it was. What's so funny is like I was about to, there we go. I was about to basically hang my jacket on basically on top of a light and knock out bunch of the light source on my I guess would be my right, camera left, and then I was like, oh shit, never mind, I shouldn't do that, should I? But this was like my favorite thing to do. So when I worked in the corporate world, I used to, surprisingly guys, I used to work in the corporate world. It might be hard to believe. Absolutely hated it. Let me tell you, the only good thing about the day was doing this. Because I would be like, I would always go after the day was over. There was always a bar that was next to, or it was, so the big building, it was like this 24-floor building. And then there's a parking lot. And then on the other side of the parking lot was this bar hangar. It was a hangar that looked like a plane hangar, but it was a bar and a restaurant thing. And so all the people would always go there after work. And so I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll go over there for a beer or 2, and the only good thing about the whole thing, the day, was going and then rolling up your sleeves like this. It was hilarious. I don't know why I love doing this, but it's hilarious. And then I'd go into the gym, looking like this with my gym bag, and people are like, "What the fuck? What does he do, huh?" What's so interesting though? What I will admit, what I tell men, I don't understand. I'll never understand anybody who doesn't like wearing suits. It's one of the best things in the world to wear. People look at you incredibly different when you wear a suit. People don't think you're a piece of shit. Well, it's so funny because like, if you just look halfway decent, you just have to just make it look like you give a shit about how you dress in it, how you look in it. And then like people will be like, oh, okay. They just give you the benefit of the doubt on a lot of things. Like I can't tell you the amount of times where I was working in the corporate world. I'll tell you this story. So I was working in the corporate world out in Los Angeles. And when I had gotten off work, I was applying for this apartment. And I went to work. I went to work, got off work, and then I went to the appointment meeting because I was going to go see the look-through. And I wore this. I wore a suit just similar, just to this. And the lady I did the walkthrough. I'm like, okay. I'm like, how much is the deposit? What I get my own parking spot. I get this. This comes with that. Blah blah blah. You got communal. What is it? It was communal. Like a washer and dryer area. It was crazy, but it was like in a Jewish. It was in a Jewish, like apartment complex. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm not. You don't have to really worry about that kind of. You don't have to worry about anything bad in a Jewish one. Like, I've been sitting here fucking with this one forever, and now it's uneven. If you tell, anyway. Ugh. You know what? Another thing. But yeah, I got it, and so I was like, okay, well, I'd love to apply. She's like, you know what? You look like a nice, clean cut guy, so don't even worry about it. And I got the apartment, no problem. Spick, span, easy, baby. Another thing, guys. A lot of people, like, I recommend when you wear a suit, wear a tie clip, right? But what you don't realize when you wear a tie clip, so let me show you. So you button your tie, right? Or you button the top button, which is always for me, because what's so funny is that, like, I have a fucking neck of a tree, and then but I only wear a medium, so my neck is for like an extra large, or is the size like an extra large person. And then, like, whenever I'm like, I have to, like, have you ever had to, like, suck your neck in to, like, tie it or to get it, like, buttoned? And then once it's buttoned, it's fine, but it's just like my fucking Adam's apple is always in the way. So anyway, so like this. So you tie your tie, you have your top button. Hopefully you do a double Windsor knot, because what kind of guy are you? Like, double Windsor knots are always they're the best knot, the most professional knot. They do eat up a lot of your tie, but it is worth it, and they do wrinkle your tie up a lot. So, which sucks, because then if you do like a normal standard American knot, or just a standard like double crossover knot, which aren't bad knots, but but those kind of knots I feel like are made for if you wear like a 3-piece suit. Because if you wear a 3-piece suit, then there is another layer of fabric that pushes down that tie, so you're only seeing a little bit of tie. It doesn't, even if that's the case, I still believe that you should do a fucking double Windsor knot, because it's just more professional. It's more professional in my sense. But anyway, so we'll talk about that in a second. Actually, probably won't. So you tie your tie, right? You put your tie up, you tie it, you make sure it's even, and then what you do is, what a lot of people thing is, when you're like, you see a tie clip, you see it, right? You're like, oh, this is awesome. This would be a cool thing to, like, push down your tie, right? To keep your tie in place, like, nice, and you look nice and uniform. That's the reason why I love it. I love it for that. But so what I like to do, some people just clip on it, which I don't understand the point of it, I guess, but it just weighs it down, so it keeps it in a spot, I guess. But I prefer it to be clipped onto my shirt as well. And actually, to tell you the truth, guys, I've actually never Googled the correct way. I always assumed that you could do it either or. I always thought it was a waste of time to just, I mean, I guess it's not, because, like, there's the ones that are like the chain, and they just rest. They kind of, they rest on your pocket, not your pocket, but your button on the inside behind the tie. But then still, like, you're connecting the two. So wouldn't that be the same thing? So, but what they don't tell you, though, if you do, like I do, so I like to have all three connected together. And then what you do is you look down, because you are trying to make sure where you want it. And because you look up, look at the mirror, you look back down to make sure it's all good. Because I don't like it to be too crunched like that. See, now you have a little wrinkle. You probably don't see it, but there's a little wrinkle there, and it's cleavage. It's just odd cleavage that you don't need. I don't even like cleavage in my... So some men like to do the little push in like this on the top part of their tie, where it's like a little bunched at the top. And I don't like that at all, because it's like, one, it looks good for a second because you make it look decent, but then it's going to unravel because it's not tightened, and you're going to move on with your day. You're going to move your neck. You're going to move your neck up and down, and it's going to fuck the whole thing up. So I don't even like having any cleavage in my tie. So I normally just do a full round out. I don't even know if that's the correct term of calling it. But the one thing you don't realize when you're looking down on your tie, when you're getting your tie clip, you're gonna eventually look up, and then if you do it too tight or do it too high, so sometimes you fuck with your tie. See how it's all fucking, the whole thing's coming up with it. So it's like this whole like little give and take. You have to like pull a little out, and then like do what I like to do is I do like a little look up, and then you look back down and it sits, and it's going to be completely fine. But everyone, that is the most boringest thing I've ever done. I wasted a solid probably 8 minutes on that. But yeah, ties, suits, I love them. They're great. Best thing in the world. A little hot in the summertime, but still, even if it's hot, it's still worth wearing. Still worth it. I feel like the guy, like, you got to fucking you have to take your credit card, cut it up in pieces. Got to cut it up in pieces. Oh, man. But yeah, that was my favorite part of the day. Oh, loosening this tie. Like, because it looks like you did something with your life. You know, you roll your sleeves up, metaphorically and literally. You loosen the noose on your neck, which is a metaphorical noose that the man makes you put it on. That's what some people say the tie is. A tie is it is a noose. It's a man-made noose that the corporate world puts onto you to control you. Which I'm like, okay, well, if you could think that much, then you could probably write a book, you dickhead. Why don't you just do that instead? So shut up. Shut the fuck up. Oh, man. But, you know, this is so-called life. This is where we're at. But yeah, fucking hey, dude. Hope you guys are doing well. I have no idea what I've talked about the last little bit of time. I am so incredibly stoned right now. We're allowed to, I can say that, right? Yeah, because we filmed this in a state that is legal in. Another thing, too, is have fun with the socks when you wear a suit. Wear nice. Have your shirt be, always have it be what are they called? A slim fit. Always be a slim fit shirts, because you always just want to look nice, because, like, why do you want extra fabric on you? Because you'll look dusty. I don't know. It's something about a suit that if you don't have it nice and smooth and crisp and clean, and it just like fits right on your body, you just look like a turd. I think you do, and this is a big waste of time. And especially the guys who don't care about the length of the tie and it's like too long. Oh God, I'm just like, good googly moogly. But then again, I'm like, you can't have it be too short. You just you just want it to basically sit on top or right above it, like in that little spot. You have about like that much room right there, and you just that's where that little point should be sitting. But this is just me. And you're like, John, we never see you wear suits. We never fucking see you wear suits. Why are you talking so much about suits? Because they're awesome, and you can get a lot of personality. You see a lot of personality in a suit. You can see a lot of, like, someone who the tie that a man chooses to wear says a lot about him. If he chooses to have a little pendant on his jacket, that says a lot about him as well. Which, in truth, what I should do, because summertime is a little different. So summertime, I'm a little more lenient, and I don't wear suits as much, mostly for like formal events and those kind of things. But I don't like, it's because, again, it's hot, so it's mostly just like golfing shorts, and if I have to do pants, I do like the golfing pants, because you can really pull those off. Like, they look like, actually, if you've got a nice jacket, you can pull it off. Actually, to tell you the truth, I do have. If you have, I have a random sports jacket that the pants ripped on because it was a suit jacket. Why am I talking about this so goddamn much? But yeah. And so anyway, as you can tell, I didn't have that much stuff written down. So I'm like, let's just ramble for the longest of time until I don't have anything else to talk about. Isn't that gross? That was probably the grossest thing in the world because I could hear that right in my earphones. So if I could hear that, you guys could probably hear that too. So what we got, like 13 minutes left. I don't even know what do we have this week. What did I write about? What did I even sit down and write down in my little things? Oh, that was the one thing I was going to talk about. So I just found this out just a couple hours ago. There's been a fake moon. This is I guarantee you, so many people who believe in like flat Earth and believe that we've never been to space, which it makes sense. Like why did we go in the 60s, but we've never been back since? It's so dangerous to go there now. But wasn't it more dangerous then? Like they always talk about how. Listen to me sound like, especially with the outfit that I'm wearing, how I'm gonna sound like such a fucking. I'm gonna sound like such a tin hat guy. But they talk about how it's so dangerous to go to space now. But wasn't it so dangerous to go to space back then? And they're like, yeah. And like, it was so interesting. It's like, you have more technology in your phone than they had to connect from Earth to the moon. And you're like, well, then what's the problem? Like, what's the problem? And I understand. Well, you got to understand what there's things because the Earth is spinning on an axis, so we might be way over here, and it's way further of a shot versus if we waited till I don't know December or November, where it's a little bit closer, where we can use like probably it'd be even sooner than that. Wouldn't it be more like August? Because then you can like use the momentum of Earth going forward to push you forward. Couldn't you use that as well? Again, this is way above my pay grade. But yeah, this is. But people, when they see this, they're gonna think that this is some giant. So you're like, I didn't do very much. I only read the title. So if you just read the title, it's very it can be very misleading one way or another. So the title says it's from the Insider. I don't know if you believe in that. Businessinsider.com. Let's see here. A fake moon has been following Earth around the sun since 100 BC. Astronomers just noticed. So this is the thing. An asteroid has been following Earth around the sun for the last 2 millennia. Astronomers just noticed it. Scientists first discovered the space rock called 2023 FW13 in March, following the plain stars with 2 RS orbiting astronomy in Hawaii. God, I'm such a fucking moron reading. At first glance, astronomers seem to be orbiting our planet, which makes it another moon. Okay, so it's just basically... See, you know what's so funny? You have to read this shit or stumble through it like I did, because I'm fucking higher than a kite. And you hear like a fake moon has been following Earth. And you're like, what? That's so crazy. It's like, how did the scientists just now figure this out? Why did they just now learn about this? And you learn about it like, oh, it's just been a fucking asteroid. Asteroids follow the Earth all the time. And you're like, oh, this is not the biggest of news in the world. It's still news. Don't get me wrong. Because it's fascinating. It's fascinating as fuck. But someone will just read the title of that, and some flat Earth person will just be like, see, told you. They are just lying. All they're doing is just lying about how we have been to the moon, how there's water on Mars, and the fact that this guy's wearing a suit and tie and he's yelling about this kind of stuff. This is like, see? Oh, good. Oh, God. We're Suits people. And then get on a podcast, have your own podcast, and wait till episode 171 and spend the almost whole first half talking about Suits and tie clips. Like a fucking Momo. Yeah, just suck on that. Just suck on that fucking water, John. That metaphor, you know. But yeah, I found that out today. That was interesting, but a little misleading compared to what you thought it was going to be. Golden Girls are streaming on Hulu. I don't know if you guys know that, but you guys need to know that, and you guys now know that. I'm running for president. I'm just joking. I can't run for president. Oh, I didn't tell you that. Yeah, I can't because I wasn't born in this country. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, so that's another thing. Oh, crazy thing. So, did you guys know? This is so funny. Is that the Muslims? Why did you start it out like that, John? Why did you, especially with the outfit that you're wearing? You're just like you look like you just got done knocking on doors. And that's how you're going to start the thing. You're going to start that. And like the things you guys can't see it, but there is like an Egyptian flag over here that was like Arabic writing. So it's like not even like race. It's just fucking ignorance. It's like, there can't be. It's just like, you're just a fucking idiot, John. Again, do you not hear me stumble through when I was talking to you guys about the fucking fake moon? I can speak here, but looking at that, all that, see, that's the reason why I started doing this podcast, because I thought I probably had fucking early onset CTE. Not lying to you guys. This is really one of the reasons why I started doing a podcast, a solo one. So, anyway, anyways, I hear that all the time. People, it's anyway. Just anyway, not anyways. Why do you want to add the S to it? Why do you want to add the S? There's no need to add an S. But what's so interesting is that did y'all know that that the Muslims believe, this is going to blow a lot of Christians' minds. Actually, everyone sit down except everyone. You can all take a seat except the Christians, because this is going to blow your all's brain. I'm basically just talking to y'all because you probably don't know this. Do y'all know that the Muslims, that the people that not all y'all, that some Christians don't like? I shouldn't even say that. That's not even me. That's not even right to say. I shouldn't say that. John, you're trying to be better as a person. Stop saying stuff like that. Saying stuff like that comes off closed-minded, short-sighted, and an undeodoranted armpit. That makes no sense. See how stupid I am? See how stupid why when I say something stupid. Don't let this suit and tie fool you. I'm a moron. What? Do you guys know, because I'm sure a lot of Christians don't know this. If you guys do, good for you. Do you guys know that Muslims in the Quran, this is in the Quran, that Jesus went up to heaven, he descended up to heaven, and he got up to heaven, and God was like, oh crap, and then he brought down a identical version of Jesus, and that's the one who got crucified. It wasn't actually the Jesus that we all know, the one that you guys know, and the one that the Jews know, and the one that the Muslims know. That one went up to heaven. That one flew up to heaven. And so, so your guy got killed, but it wasn't your dude. It was like another dude. It was a dude, but it was still a dude that looked like Jesus. It was Jesus' twin. It was his doppelganger. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where you get the term doppelganger from. It was from when there's someone's going to believe this, that it was when that, Jesus was going to get crucified, but he got shot up to heaven, and he already floated up to it. Let me correct myself. He didn't shoot up there. He floated or ascended. Ascended. It's like a scented candle. You ascended, you dipshit. Like, you're such a moron, John. See, guys, moron. And then when he was up there, God was like, "Oh, I need to bring down another guy who looks like Jesus but isn't Jesus." And then he's the one who got crucified on the cross for sins, maybe sins could be, I don't know. And then and that's where the term doppelganger comes from. It's from that. You can learn that in the Quran. But seriously though, there really is a story that's in the Quran that's like that. It's pretty interesting. You should read it. Like I tell you guys all the time. Read all the stories. Read all of them. You read all the fucking Harry Potter books. Read all the Jesus, Moses, and the Muhammad books. Read them, and you learn. And you're like, oh my God, there's some interesting things in all of them. And you're like, then what happens is when you get to some of the the crazy stories. They're not crazy. They're crazy in the sense of like how they're miracles. That's why they're crazy. Because like a miracle, if it's real, if a miracle are real, that's a crazy event to see. That's crazy. I think we all can agree on that. Then when you read the ones that happen in the Quran, the miracles that happen in the Quran, and then you read the ones that happen, like kind of like Noah's Ark, you're like, oh, I see how all these stories kind of align together because they're all of them miracles. If miracles are real, if they are real, crazy, quite crazy cool, right? Like when you say that, it's because let's be real. Like if someone just catches, like if there was a bottle and I just caught it like that, you'd be like, that's fucking crazy cool. Not miracle crazy cool, but it's still crazy cool. All right, I think I dug myself into a deep enough hole with that. Guys, this is what happens. I'm just a guy sitting here wearing a suit and tie with his sleeves rolled up because I'm putting my hands in the dirt. What are you doing? Are you putting your hands in the dirt? Are you? Or are you just sitting there judging like Judas did? That's why Jesus had to make a doppelganger. Is it doppelganger? Doppelganger? But the thing is, like, what did they say? There's like a 1 in like 100 billion chance or some shit of you having someone that has like the identical facial structure. So there is a chance of it occurring. So if there's a chance, there's a chance, right? Right? There's read a book. I don't know. I have like 45 seconds left in this podcast, guys. I'm just here. But if you've gotten this far, oh my God, I would have turned it off a long time ago if I was you. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys on the next episode. I will probably not be wearing a suit that episode, even though I do look quite dashing in this suit. It's a black pinstripe. I think it's like Billy London or something like that. Very slim fitting suit. It's nice. I would have cut him a little bit closer in the leg, but that's just me. Nice suit anyway. It's fun wearing suits. Wear a suit, guys. Gentlemen, wear a suit. And the thing is, like, you can get them like sweats. Like you pay like $80 sweats, like matching top and bottom. You can do that $80 to $120 for a normal suit, and it can be like an everyday suit that you wear, and it's like, oh shit, who gives a fuck if you got a stain on it, because it was only $120, and that's like what, like a day's pay at work. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys on the next episode. All right.